funds. So these are basic things. You can see how easy it is to carry out those kind of crimes, and you don't necessarily have to use any funny software to do that and all that. So that is why it's highest on the crime. And the popular ones are also on the list. You have just the use of malicious softwares, viruses infecting your system, people using patched software. When I say patched software, it is a software that instead of using the license from the manufacturer, because it's a proprietary software, you use a crack or use a keygen. That you just basically breach the protocol so that you use it as if you purchased it. Now people think that, just buying a 500 naira CD, I'm getting value for money. But believe me, there could be a backdoor that criminal could use to compromise your system. And that is why the IT professionals say use licensed software on your system and regularly update those things.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Now, you've just given us a scenario where someone calls me up and says, hey, Florence, you work this. How do they even have access to my phone number? How do they even know my name? You know, so, I mean, for me to be convinced that this person actually knows me, you've already given me the most basic, my name.
Yes.
My phone number.
Yes.
You know, and you've been right. So how did you get access to that?
Yes. Now, this kind of information can be available from different sources. It all depends on the criminal intent in mind. If, for example, somebody has the director general of a particular organization as a target, of course, all he needs to do is to find out who around her or in the vicinity can give him access, or he can, whether by mistake or, you understand, they can come by way of, I want to drop a proposal for the DG, and I would really want her to go through it. And maybe somebody that is not well informed, and we know that maybe the DG's email address is readily available, and you can just send it to so-and-so email.
Could it also be that our details are being shared by our service providers?
It is possible. It is really possible. Or the service providers have been compromised as well. So you can get it from third parties, you can get it directly from somebody that works within. The major security weakness in any institution is usually the human beings involved. If you don't train them to be very careful.
Vigilant.
Yes, social engineering is what we call this, when somebody comes in and tries to get pieces of information so that he uses it for ulterior motives.
It's an organized crime.
Yes, an organized
And
crime.
we'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll continue our discussions on cybercrimes. Stay with us. Welcome back. We've been discussing cybercrimes and how it affects you. If you're just joining us, then you've missed out on quite a bit. However, you can always catch up by following us on all our other platforms: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and of course our website. Our contact details are being displayed on your screen right now. Mr. Bent, we've been discussing cybercrimes,
yes.
and prior to the break, you were giving us some examples of how these crimes are perpetrated. What do you think is the mindset or the motive behind these criminals?
Okay. Now, we have the obvious reasons and the not so obvious reasons. Now, the obvious reasons range from financial crime, of course, you want to steal money for your own personal benefit, right? And for some other ones is to breach security protocols so that you gain access to some other things, or to even damage infrastructure or something like a website. You want to deface the website just to prove a point. Now, those are the obvious reasons, you know, someone is aggrieved. The not so obvious reasons, sorry, it's like when you have somebody that is aggrieved, maybe got fired from a job unlawfully and is IT savvy, or has people that are IT savvy, he could just say, okay, let's stage an attack, an organized attack online against this organization. Or he could give information to third parties so that it will be detrimental, of course, to his previous employer. And another one that is not so obvious is maybe bragging rights. Some, believe me or not, I don't think I explained what hacking means. But basically, for the benefit of our consumers or viewers watching, hacking is any criminal act online that has to do with compromising software or access into any infrastructure, but specifically with the intent of damaging, using technology, of course, using programming skills and what have you, or using hacking tools, so that when I use the word hacking, they can flow. So
Okay.
I said for bragging rights. Now, in the hacking community, online crime community, you have people that want to just say, I was able to break into Nigeria, so and so data. I was able to bring down Sony, Apple, their Facebook or whatever. For bragging rights, they do that. Okay. Some, again, is just to embarrass people. You know, okay. Like what happened last year when it came to Apple iCloud being hacked and pictures, a lot of nude pictures were leaked. The online, I mean, the web space was just filled, littered with different pictures of celebrities, naked pictures and personal pictures, and it was a big scandal. Yeah.
Okay, now that's very scary.
Yes.
What are my responsibilities? What steps do I need to take to make sure that I, as a consumer, am protected from this sort of exposure?
Okay. The first thing I tell consumers or anybody using IT is, first of all, start with the basic security features that have been provided to you by the service provider. If somebody gives you a software, an internet security software, make sure you update it regularly. If you do not update it, it's almost as good as not having one on your system, because you have the internet space being polluted with different viruses, worms, and what have you online. So on a daily basis, people are trying to break in or pull down things online. So the more you update, it helps. Like, I'll give an example. Last year I used a particular, I'm not trying to market any particular company, because you have a lot of them out there. Now, there was a particular security breach on my system that at first it couldn't resolve it. So it said it had to contact the database, submit this particular issue to it, and get a solution. And it did that, and within some hours, it now gave me an information saying that it has to restart my system and do A, B, C, and D, and it was able to resolve the issue. So now, even though that attack maybe was new to its database at that time, they were able to resolve it, you understand, because there was a connection, constant update and connection. Another thing is the use of weak passwords. We have situations where people put their names and date of birth, or you put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or use password as password. Maybe you just capitalize the P, or use some very basic things, maybe your second line on your keyboard, which is QWERTY, which spells QWERTY. That's QWERTY. If you look at it on your keyboard, they follow each other. So that means what the person simply did was to do zip on the keyboard just to use as password. So, and these people know, the hackers, they know these basic things. So they go, if they want to break into your account, they start with the basic things before they now go advanced. They go advanced. So use of strong passwords, very important. And if possible, change them. It's possible. So change them regularly, so that nobody compromises your email account, your personal banking details. Do not expose your card details to anybody, your BVN details. Do not expose it to anybody. If you're going to do online transaction, make sure that when you open the transaction page, on your URL, that is the address, on your address bar, you have HTTPS. S stands for security. Or you see a logo that has a padlock. That will help a lot. That will help you to know that that is a secure platform. Now, when you go there and you put in your banking details, and your browser is to ask you, do you want to save these details? I advise, do not save those details. No, do not save your details on your browser. In most cases, HTTPS will not prompt you for your password. That's to save it on the browser. But even if it does, do not save it, just to be on the safe side. And for your banking details, because financial institutions are #1 targets for hackers and online cyber criminals, make sure that you have the token option. Of course, banks provide that there's a soft token and the hard token. The hard token is the device they give to you that generates random numbers as tokens for you. The other soft one is they'll just send it to you when it's time for you to pay. They will text it to you. You use it one time and it has a time span.
And it expires.
It expires, and which is a very good feature. I know that by saying what I'm saying right now, a lot of people will be like, I will never go online again. I will never use my card. I have some people that when I told them, they said, I want to renew my Go TV. And they said, okay, they say you can do it online. I said, good, bring out your card. My card, like, I'll not do that. You understand? But it will get to a stage where you have to engage, you know.
I mean, it's a global village.
Yeah, it's a global village. So just adhere to the security protocols.
And you'll be fine.
Then on your system, your password on your system is important, because sometimes you leave your laptop lying around. In days where we used to go to cyber cafes anyhow, some people will leave their systems like that, not passworded, and go and use the restroom. or go and grab a bike from somewhere, and it's just exposed there. The person that knows better will, of course, come and try and get some information, and they're gone. And again, sorry, there's a lot. Let me just summarize.